Sir, Mr. Joey.
Sir Joey P.
Sir Joey P. I want to make this all about you. Like, you're one of the photographers that when I first started shooting, you were like there from the beginning, which is really cool. And so you've seen a lot of progression, not just in me, but in the industry in general.
Yeah.
I think you're one of the most vocal photographers that I know, which is a great thing. And I'm sure you get hate for that and you get love for it. But I want to hear about you. So I've started off every episode asking what camera do you use? Like, what's your go-to camera and your go-to lens?
Dude, I love answering this question. So currently right now, I actually just transitioned from the A7R3 to the A1.
Okay. Wow.
I literally did the first photo shoot yesterday. And my go-to lens, I'm probably going, man, I just can't get rid of that GM 2470.
Right.
It's right now, it's, for what I shoot, I do everything with it. But I will tell you right now that I just saw the Sigma 1.285 and
The 1.2? Would you go? Do you ever need to go that low then? Like shoot 1.2?
No, but why? I just think it's cool to say that. Like
if it's 1.2,
I'm catching that freckle, dog. That's all I'm gonna get focused. Like, that shit's clean. Yeah, I think it was 1.2. It might have been 1.4, but I think it's a 1.2. Yeah, that was super clean. Is that new 85? I've never been a zoom lens guy. Mm-hmm. Never been anybody that shoots higher than 70. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, I just really like that 85. I thought it was super clean.
Yeah, very, very cool.
So that's my new go-to, the A1. I'm excited to see what it can do.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Dude, I'm still learning on it. It's a B. I haven't even learned everything on the A7R3.
Really? How long have you shot with that one for?
Since I started, that was my first camera.
Yeah.
It's the first camera I've ever owned.
What made you buy the camera? What made you get into photography?
Whoa, that's crazy. What made me get into photography? I think I'm a person that I do a lot of different things, and I get really excited about trying. I'm always on the hunt for that thing that's going to make me feel like I can do this is what I was made for, right? Whether it's scuba diving, skydiving, joining the military, like I was just like, what else can I do? And it became one of those things where do we live, man? South Florida, beautiful women, beautiful cars, beautiful property. I was like, look at this. We're walking on a billboard. Like, we're a walking billboard every single day. And I was like, I want to be the guy who sells it. I want to create the dream. I want to paint the dream for people.
Was there a turning point, like a specific moment that you said, I'm going to pick up this camera now? Or was it like that?
Do you know what it was? I think at the time I was just surrounded by just pure, like, I don't want to name drop, but like, dude, when you got Joey Wright, Chris Headshots, Mike Orangutan, that are just people that you see on a regular basis.
Right.
And you're just like, okay, cool. So if you do it good enough, you can make it enough to live, right? I'm not saying that they're fucking balling out of control, but their food's on the table, you know, they got a roof over their head. Mm-hmm. I was like, cool, you know? And I think they were so good at selling the lifestyle, which is what I was excited about, right? They were so good at doing it that it wasn't even, they never once said to me like, yo, like Joey never once looked at me and was like, hey, you should become a photographer. Mm-hmm. Or, hey man, but in fact, they said the opposite. It was the polar opposite. It was, hey dude, everyone's a photographer down here, you know? And I was like, yeah, but, and I think what really drove it home was the amount of people that I knew, like the amount of girls and the amount of people that own nice cars and people that, and I'm a people person. I'm always around people. And I realized I was the guy in the group that was like, I would never get trashed. I was never the drunk guy.
Right.
I was the guy that always took care of people. Oh, you need DD? I got you. Oh, you need blah, blah, I got you. Yo, let me comp this tab out real quick. We'll hop somewhere else. Like, I was the fun guy. So I was like, yo, why am I not capturing this while we're doing that? And then one day a girl's like, you should take pictures of me on the beach. And shout out KG Fed. She'll probably never watch this episode. But she's cute, man. She's a good friend of mine. And at the time, she was doing like really hardcore workouts. Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm fit. She's amazing body, like absolutely beautiful woman, super amazing body. And she was like, I just want to get some good shots of like my abs. And I was like, cool, let's do a beach shoot. Let's try it, whatever. And it clicked the first time. And I remember showing some of my friends, MP, Chris, Danny, Joey, all the homies. And they were like, dude, you got something. Like we don't know what it is.
Right.
But there's something there.
Right.
And I was like, I took that real big. I was like, this is real big. Like, yeah, I was like, right. Dude, literally next day, $9,000.
Wow.
Next day. Not even joking with you. I think I had an A6000, which was the first. I don't consider that a camera. Like, that's the first camera I've literally ever purchased in my entire life.
Right.
But I don't pick. That's like an all around. You grab it, you put it in your car whenever you're out. You take a picture.
Right.
That's
Anyone can use it.
yeah, and that's what I did her shoot with. The second I got that feedback, I took my Best Buy card and just dropped 9Gs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dedication.
Haven't looked back ever since.
And so, do you consider yourself a portrait photographer, or you do like a lot of different things?
Oh, dude, I do. I hate the word content creator.
Oof. Why? Tell me.
Oh, I fucking hate this word.
So you hate the name of my podcast?
I hate content creator. Let me tell you why I hate content creator. I am a content creator because just like you are, you create content. That's what you do, right? In the definition. But shout out Marco.
Shout out to Marco.
Good call on that Glenwood 14. So I try not to classify myself as that, but I'm also not a portrait photographer. I'm also not a headshot photographer. I'm not a landscape photographer. I don't know. I think that's one of the biggest parts about me is I don't want to be classified. I don't want to be put in a box. I don't. And the second I'm in a box, this is like a trait of me, and you'll know this after knowing me for a couple years. I don't want to be. The second you can classify me is the second I quit.
Right.
I don't want to be the best headshot photographer. I don't want to be the best swimsuit photographer or fashion or editorial photographer. I want to be the photographer. I want to be that guy who has a little bit of everything. Sure, I want to be better at some things than others, but I mean, right now I can take you out to the Glades, dude, and we can do astrophotography that I've been killing for the past month.
Shoot the pores of the moon.
Bro.
The rings of Saturn.
I learned some cool shit out there. My buddies and I are out there painting lights, and it's just gnarly, bro. But photography there's so many aspects inside of it that it just really intrigued me. And the fact that you can just take it with you and do it anywhere is absolutely phenomenal.
Right. Extremely versatile. I think the only thing that changes is your vision of what you see.
Yeah.
Because you and I can see the same subject, same location, same time of day, and shoot two completely different photos.
Completely different.
Right? Because it's just how it is. You and I are different people.
I'm going to ask you this. This is fun. Does it bother you when you see people copying your style? Like, not necessarily your style, but like, because people are always going to copy. That's flattering to me. I find it flattering. When I see photographers reach out to the same, if I just shot 5 girls and posted them on Instagram, and I see a photographer reach out to those 5 girls,
right.
I'm excited.
Right. Because you know where you found
it's not ironic that he just came upon those same exact 5 girls. So that for me is like kind of like a cool, like I'm stoked that guy saw and go, I can do it better. Like I want that. I want you to do that. But for you, is it something, because you're in this industry, dude, you do this so often now, is it something that you look at and you're like, how do you feel when you see people that you just know are, and they're not, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of photographers that I see that try to do what a lot of other people are doing that are missing it big time.
I think I would be flattered too. Like, I don't see it very often. When I do see it, I'm like, oh wow, I'm glad that he took inspiration, because I take inspiration from you and other people all the time.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that would disappoint me would be if they did it not as good.
Right?
Like
if you want them to
be better than me.
Yeah.
Make something where I gotta stop my car, sit down, put it in park, and be like, wow, how did he do that?
Yeah.
Right? Because I get excited when I see good work, regardless of whether it was inspired by me or somebody else. When I see good work, I think I've called you, yo, that was an amazing shot. Like, and I love to see it. So when I see somebody shooting with a model that I shoot with, or that I know personally, and their work just isn't up to par, like they slack on the editing, or they slacked on maybe the posing, or whatever the case may be, I'm like, I know her potential and I know how well she works. So it's like, you let her down, then you let me down. It's like,
yeah. Do you when you see that, when you going on Instagram or TikTok or something like that, do you ever? I find myself doing this, and this may be bad, but I look at that and like I'll see by how good I feel that their quality of work is, I immediately classify them.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if you do this, but I do this, and it's not to be mean, right? It's more so I know where they are, so I can kind of maneuver around it. But there's certain photographers that I'll look at, and I'll be like, oh, he's just in it for the money.
Can you tell?
Or I just feel you can. I feel like you can. I feel like, or he's in it for the fame or the girls, or he's in it because he loves art, right? He's in it because he enjoys the process. I feel like come on, you can tell when you see somebody doing a photo, almost completely washed out, skin so smooth it's ridiculous, sucked in tight photos. They're like power liquefying everything, right? You know what that is.
I don't love that.
You know what that is, right? And then you can tell a lot about a photographer by how they edit, if they edit their own photos.
Right.
I feel like you can.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you look for when you see, like, if I were to upload a photo, what would you see? Like, what are the details that you would pick out? And what would you get from those details?
From your photo?
Yeah, like, just use me as an example.
Dude, when I look at your photos now, like I think we were just talking about it before we even started recording, like the attention to detail that you show now versus when you first started. Mm-hmm. And mind you, like I'm nobody, bro. Like let me just hold on, wait, stop. Well, what I'm saying is like I'm nobody in the sense of like, don't hold me up there with anybody amazing, right? With like the big guys of our league. I'm saying this in simply the simplest way of just saying like, in my 2.5, 3 years of experience, when I look at your images, the amount of detail that you're locking in now, the fact that you stopped shooting at 2.4 and you started shooting at 3.5, 4.5, 4.7, you understand when to shoot that depth. Mm-hmm. You understand when you're editing to pull those shadows, what aesthetic you're going for when you're pulling those shadows, right? You're leaving it dark and mysterious? Fuck yeah, bro, leave it dark and mysterious. Cool, don't pull the detail. Right. But what you're also not doing is completely blushing out someone's body to where you're selling a fake image. Right. And that there's a line there that if you're a model or a client and you want your skin perfect, awesome, I'm here for it, let's make it happen. When you want to look when you want to tweak things, hey, look, I'm usually not this heavy, I'm usually a little bit tighter, I've had some issues, blah, blah. Cool, I'll help you out, I got you. But when you're like, hey, I'm a C, but I want a triple D, right. Sorry, that's not for me, I'm not your photographer, right? So there's some photographers out there that, yeah, happily will do that, and they'll make you look ridiculous. Those people, I won't drop names, I want to do so bad, but I won't drop names. Those people are the guys that I'm like, I can see you're in it for the money. I can see you're in it for pleasing the model, not necessarily because you have a vision that you want to create, right? So those are the people that I'm like, cool, you're still killing it. I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you. Like, I'm not saying stop. It doesn't bother me, not whatsoever. You're on my radar as a human being, but realistically, like, you're not even in the same weight class as me. Right. So, because we're not shooting the same things. Right. When I see a weight class, the weight class that I'm in, and I'm at the bottom of it, is the same weight class as like you, as the same weight class as Joe Uriah, is the same weight class as, freaking Ronald Wayne, bro. Like, shout out to Ron, dude. You guys did that podcast? I'm so stoked to watch that. You better release that tomorrow. That's so clean.
No, I think,
but I would be interested to hear it because he's also a guy that literally came and built his empire by himself.
Right.
And with everybody, there's a certain amount of fake it to make it, and I learned that. But he's a guy that literally, since I shook his hand at Swim Week 2 years ago for the first time, and we shot the shit that whole night, like, that's always a guy, and I don't even talk to him that much, right? Like, I don't at all. But he's a guy that, no question, I know right now, if I was like, yo, I would love to sit down and pick your brain, I'll pay your hourly, whatever it is, I would be happy to do that. Like, I would be happy to learn from a guy like that.
He'd give it to you for free. I think something that Ronald taught me, because he taught me, he's the reason why I picked up my camera for the first time. But something that he taught me from the very beginning.
What was it that made you pick up the camera?
So, I used to work with a supplement company a few years ago. Okay. And at the time, we had a bunch of ambassadors and a bunch of athletes and models, and I was paying photographers to come and shoot content, shoot photos, shoot videos, and it's 500 over here, 1,000 over here, 300 over here, and we couldn't afford it. So I said, you know what? I could shoot photos and videos. That's easy. I could do it. Watch a couple of YouTube videos, and that's it. So I went on OfferUp and I bought a T3i. The Canon T3i.
Rebel T3i.
The Rebel T3i was my first camera.
Full black camera, red writing on the.
And it's funny because the girl who sold me the camera, I'm still friends with her to the day. So I hope to have her on. She's an amazing photographer.
Okay, don't be friends. No, she sold you the T3i. Don't be friends with her.
She was like, I remember, like, oh, this is a good camera to start off with. She goes, it's perfect to start off with. I'm like, all right.
Selling dreams. She's selling dreams. Good for her.
Shout out to Sage, yeah. So I bought the camera, and I don't know what I'm doing. So have you ever heard the saying that a good model can make a bad photographer look good?
100%.
So I'm shooting with girls who know how to who know how to pose, who know how to move, and so I'm a guy with a T3i who's never shot anything in his life on full auto, and I'm just spraying photos.
Stop spraying and praying.
Spraying.
Call of Duty in it? No way.
Not even looking at the model.
I love that for you.
Thank you. And
what lens did you run on that?
Oof, a 50mm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nifty 50. I'm not bad about it.
And so that's what I started off. But I started doing video before photos. So that's mostly video. And I remember I'm hitting up photographers who are local here in Miami. This was a few years ago. This must have been like 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
And hey, do you mind if I shout at you at a shoot? No response. Hey, do you mind if I...
Wait, you're hitting up photographers?
I'm hitting up photographers.
Okay, cool.
Like asking if I could shout at them.
Gotcha.
And no here, left me on red. This is back in the early days of Instagram, and there weren't so many photographers, but the ones that were out there were huge, right? They were already established.
Okay.
And the only one who responded back to me was Ron.
Really?
And so Ron, he goes, yeah, bro, I have a shoot in a couple of days, come through. And so he's shooting Angela Sagar, I think it was. So it's like a huge model at the
Big
time,
name.
right? Huge
Big name. Yeah.
And so here I come with my little T3 eye, and I remember I bought a handheld stabilizer. So
Like
we
a little gimbal setup?
little gimbals. I'm here trying to balance stuff.
Wait, was it electronic?
No,
it was a wavy one?
And I'm here trying to balance it out. And I'm behind weights because we're doing fit. He started off in fitness, and that's what I started off in as well. So I only did fitness videos.
So you knew already what you were connecting with.
I knew what I had to do for the business that I was in.
Yeah.
Not that I had a passion for it, but that's what I had to do.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna do fitness content, and so Ron's doing fitness content too. And so he's here, and then I'm right behind him trying to get the same shot, and he's literally like holding my hand and showing me how to shoot.
Yeah.
And ever since then, we became super cool. And he's where he is right now, and he's a great creative. I know you hate that word. But he's just a great person, and something that he taught me was that all this information is free. All this information is already on YouTube. All this information is already public.
Yeah.
There's no holding back anything because it's already there. You're gonna figure it out one way.
Oh no, 100%. So why not be the better guy?
So why not be the better guy?
Yeah. I think in two things. One, clarify real quick. I hate the word content creator. Let me tell you why I hate it real quick. I hate it because go on Instagram, everybody puts content creator in their thing.
Right.
Oh, you're a Twitch gamer? You're a content creator. Like, it's so generalized that it becomes like, okay, it's like, if I asked you what you're doing and I only had a minute to talk to you and you told me you were a content creator, my second question would be, okay, what kind of content? Right? So then at that point, that's why I don't like content creator. It's very vague. It's like, what are you? I'm a human. No, like, what are you? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I hate content creator. Two, the idea of you being able to follow Ronald Wayne is like, that's essentially what I did with Senor Papi Joey Wright.
Mm.
Like, I met him, I was like, cool dude. Like, I wasn't on his dick in the sense of, look who's hanging around all the time. I think I've only ever actually, to this day, hung out with him. We went up to Miami a couple times. We did a couple like little things together. Lauderdale a couple times. But like, I don't hang out with him because who he knows and who he hangs out with. I hang out with him because the way he carries himself, his professionalism, what he can teach me without even knowing he's teaching me. And there's very few people like me and you who can pick up things without them stepping aside and going, okay, did you see what I just did? Like, I know what you just did, bro. Keep doing your game. I'm picking it up, trust me. And those are the people, the Joeys, the Rons, those are the people that before us, we were like, all right, he's killing it. He's crushing it. He's humble about it. And he's willing to say like, hey man, just look, like come over here and look. Now, copying is one thing. Learning the major information and data download from people like that and being able to interpret it through your own eyes is what I think a lot of people lack.
100%.
And there's a lot of people who try to copy exactly what Ronald Wayne does, exactly what Joey Wright does, exactly what Mike Orangutan does. And I don't want to copy you. I want to learn how you're talking to models. I want to learn how you're talking to clients. I want to learn how you're talking to other photographers. I want to learn how you're carrying yourself on an everyday level to make you get and attract those clients. And I want to tweak that and I want to make it my own. And that's like, people, that's the thing that there's not a lot of us, bro. There's a lot of photographers.
So many.
There's a lot of picture takers. And there's a huge difference there. Photographers, I feel like, have the entire package. Those are people that can sell something, they can deliver something, they're professional, they have a visual eye, they're an artist. Picture takers are those guys that go, yeah, cool, I'll take 20 pictures of your butt, 10 pictures of your chest, 5 pictures of your face, and it's going to cost you $150 an hour, or $150.
Right.
And it's like, bro, I won't even get out of bed for $150.
Ever.
If you told me right now, hey, I'll come to your house, I just need 10 pictures for $100, I'm like, yo, that's going to be a no. Like, I just won't. And it's not that I'm like too cocky or what. No, there's no art in that for me. You know, like that's not, you'll never log on my page and really see like a girl doing this or, you know what I mean? Like you're never going to see that. You're going to see, you're going to see butt pics and a bunch of random stuff because let's be adults, sex sells. And that's what industry we're in, right? But at the same time, it's a lot different from guys who are just out here, you know, doing whatever they want to do, making money. Sure, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that's not me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a difference between enjoy how you said that, where there are picture takers and there are photographers, but I think that what separates those on a different level is also understanding that there's a business behind it, and that there are skills that you need to develop that are aside from the camera, that are away from the computer. And that if you don't have those skills, you're always going to stay a picture taker.
Bro.
Right? How you speak, like, I tell people this story all the time too. So when I went with you to a shoot, and I'm watching you shoot because I enjoy watching other photographers work, same way you do.
Which shoot is this? Was this the?
This was over here, I think, downstairs. And you said something about if I do this, it means close your mouth a little bit. If I go over here, open your mouth a little bit. I'm gonna turn your head this way.
Yeah.
Ever since I saw that, I'm like, that's amazing, and I use it all the time when I'm shooting now. Like that's my thing now. I do because I remember you. I got it from you.
Yeah.
And so
I got it from Joey and Chris.
Okay. Well, like,
so, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is sick because now you're using it.
And I'm sure
I picked it up from. I can't remember. I think I got a couple head movements from Chris, but I got like body posture directioning from Joey. Yeah. But that's awesome, dude. Keep going.
Like, so like you pick up things that you know are gonna make you a better photographer.
Yeah.
And a better videographer and a better.
Well, a better director, right? Like a lot of these girls, they'll come to me like, I'm really bad at posing. Mm-hmm. They're honest. Listen, I don't know how to fucking pose. I'm like, girl, I'm gonna save your life. I'm good. I got you. Right? I've
seen you pose. You get on the ground and you pop the booty out.
Shout out Laura Van Fifth for the first time. Art Crazy ever took a picture of me stretched out on the ground. I don't know if you ever saw that picture, but that was crazy. Dude, that's the shit. Girls respect that. And I keep saying girls, I don't mean this to sound direction towards them, but that's primarily who I've been working with for the past 2 years, right? So females, women, girls, whatever you want to say, clients, they look for what's going to set them apart, right? This same pose where the elbow is above the head, the hands on the hip. What is natural about this? When in your life do you do this? When I tie my hair back is about the only time I lift my arm up like this. So when I log onto a girl's page and I see 10 pictures like this, I know she needs help. Right. Or at least that's the image she's giving off.
Or maybe she's shooting with a photographer who doesn't know how to differentiate those.
So now why would she pay me an extra $100?
For that expertise and that knowledge and that experience. 100%. And
some girls don't care about that. Some girls don't care at all. Yeah. Do you have those girls? You ever shot those girls who are like, I just want you to take pictures. Like, don't worry about it. I got it.
I've been lucky where I haven't had too many of those.
Okay. I think you've created a very safe niche and nook around you.
Yeah. Where I don't have too many of those. Like, I've never had that experience. I've always had girls who are always excited to try something new, always excited to try different concepts, and there's always a very comfortable flow of like sharing ideas and sharing knowledge. So I never had that happen. Yeah. But I know you've seen the computer still go.
No. I was looking at the mirror because my hair is all flopping in front of me.
Yours is perfect.
Look how I good.
Yours is perfect.
Look good.
But something I like about you is that you're very vocal about the tribulations that photographers go through, that maybe models don't realize happen, or the way that we think that models and people outside of the industry don't understand completely. Mm-hmm. Like when we say that we don't do like collabs, for example, or we say that our rates are X amount for money, and some people take it wrongly or they take it offensively. And it isn't like that at all, but what you consider a hobby for us is our way of life. And so you have a way of saying things that are entertaining but also serious at the same time. And I love how you do that. Like,
what do you like specifically that? Because I know I've said some things that are probably a little. I want to be the ridiculous guy. Like, I want people to be like, did he just really fucking say that? Like, I'm okay with that. That's fine.
I'm trying to remember something specific, but I know that you call out, no one specifically, but you definitely do mention like issues that's in the industry on both ends, not just models, but also photographers too. Well,
collabs is a big thing. I even put that on my Instagram. It got like 18,000 views in the first day. It was ridiculous that people actually watched it and were like, oh shit, I can understand what he's saying. But like something as simple as collabs, dude. Like, how many DMs do you get in your inbox that are like, hey, I would love to collab with you soon?
All the time.
Okay, cool. Do you know those people?
No.
Have they ever done anything for you in any way, shape, or form?
No.
A majority of them, is there anything that you're going to get off of doing that collab?
No.
So like I'm a realist, bro. I'm a realist, and that's how I live my life as a realist. So you're a great person. You could be literally the Pope's daughter, right? There's nothing there. If I look at that person's profile and go like, all right, well, their image is, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like 1 in a million, like there's a million of that girl, but there's nothing that, you haven't worked with anybody yet that I feel like you've been developed into someone else. You're still that same primary person. So now I have homework. Now I have to teach you poses for my photo shoot. Now I have to instruct you. Now I have to style you, right? I'm not just a photographer. You know, I know you guys see those ads all the time on Instagram. It's like, we spend a lot of time editing, doing this and doing that, doing that. Yeah, well, on our shoots, like me and you, we're stylists, we're directors, we're photographers, we're entertainers, because now we're, hey, would you like something to drink? Would you like water? Do you need a snack? Here's this. We're logistic guys, setting up hair and makeup.
Lighting,
like we're doing it all.
location
right?
scouting.
So I'm gonna have to do all that for a girl who has 5,000 followers, 10,000, what even 30, 40, 60,000 followers, whatever, 100,000 followers. And I'm like, okay, cool. Where am I gonna pull my benefit out of giving you my time? As opposed to a client that hit me up on and said, hey, what are you doing Tuesday? Well, if that girl has to collab with me on Tuesday, I'm gonna go to my client who's paying me because she understands my level of dedication. And I'm like, hey, I'm shooting you Tuesday. That's what we're doing. What's going on? Right? Or I'd rather collab with that client because that client's invested something in me at some point, whether it's time, money, effort, something. So it's less about my outreach is really what I don't care about to an extent, because I would be ignorant to say I don't want people to know who I am because that's how I do business. But if I do one photo shoot with you that you're going to post 2 pictures of it, and I gave 5 hours of my day, there's just not enough benefit, man. Right. It's not a collab for me. If I was like, hey, Avail just gave me some new bikinis. I need to shoot these bikinis. I haven't shot bikini in a while. I would love to sit down with you. If you're looking for this type of look, if you're okay with doing something with a bikini, I would be more than happy to collab with you. You do have the look that I need for the bikini look.
Right.
Perfect. Because there's a goal I'm trying to achieve. You can help me with that. I can help you with that. We knocked it out. Perfect. That's a great collab. But a collab is not hitting you up and saying, hey, JP, I need you to, which by the way, same initials.
Fuck yeah.
Which, like, if I hit you up and said, hey, I would love to collab with you, but you don't have a collab project going on, that's not your fault. You can say, hey, at this time, like, I appreciate you reaching out. Thank you for noticing that, you know, you like my work. I appreciate that. But like, yo, I don't have any collabs right now. I'll keep you in mind if I have anything come up. And then I send them a questionnaire. I usually send them a questionnaire, or I send them to my website, and I have them click book a shoot and then click collab. And what they do is they'll write what they're into. So like right now I have this girl, she's been reaching out to me like 2 or 3 times in the last 4 months. And she's like, hey, I'm a wrestler. Like I'm a WWE wrestler. Do you have any cool collabs that you think I might be benefit from? Like whether it's a supplement company, bikini company that I could wear in the ring type of thing. And I'm just like, oh, dude, great idea. Currently, no, not right now, I don't. I was like, but let me keep you on deck. Fill out this form for me. And then what I do is I have those forms on the side. Whenever I get a collab situation or a sponsor or somebody that's like, hey, I'm sending you a couple bikinis, like see who you can shoot them on. I go back to that list and I go, like a Rolodex. Oh, this girl would be perfect. You see what I'm saying? And that's how I choose my collabs.
Like that's something I need to implement now in my website.
Yeah, but like, why not? You keep it in your Rolodex, right? And if you're smart, and I'm going to give a little business like advice, right? Because this is what I've done before, and I know Ronald's done this before, and a couple other people. You have clients that send you things that say like, hey, if we like it and we use it, we'll pay you 200, 300 of photos, whatever, for a couple promo photos. Sick, awesome. So now I do that collab for free. I get what I need, she gets what she needs, I get some posts and some shout outs. And then later down the week or road, now obviously you have that model sign a waiver, right? Or a release form for your stuff. And then later down the road, when you send it back to that bikini company, like, oh my God, we love these 3 photos, here's $500. That collab just turned into a paid shoot.
Right.
So that's something that I've been learning how to maneuver through as a photographer and really go like, oh, this is another way I can turn collabs into business.
Is it hard for you to find clients like that? Is it hard, like the whole process of learning to who to reach out to and how to reach out to them? Is that something that took a while for you to get?
We're people. Me and you are people. I don't think we have that problem. I think that's something that as long as we're continuously mastering our craft, right? I will never fully master my photography. I hope to be friends with only people who think they will never master their photography. It's always changing. There's a new camera, there's a new setting, there's a new lens, there's a new filter. It's always going to change, right? So just like you're never going to be the best at Photoshop as long as they keep updating it, right? Like, so as much as there's new stuff that's coming, I think that's probably the best part about it is that I have no problem reaching out to clients going, hey, my name is Joey P. I'm a photographer in your area. I would love to shoot some stuff for your product. Whenever you have some free time, if you're interested in shooting me out some product, I'll keep it on my rack, kind of like you have that rack right there. I put it right on my rack. When models come over and they want to select it, I shoot it. Why not? It doesn't hurt me. It makes me look cool that I work with other brands. Gives me a good benefit, gives me a good rep, and then when I do deliver those images, I might get paid from it. So I think coming up, that's what a lot of photographers should focus on.
Working with brands instead of models?
Yeah, and not necessarily brands. Like, I don't want to say brands and scare people. I'm not talking about Nike. I'm talking about Adidas.
Right.
I'm talking about John's Haircut Barbershop down the street. That if I go get a haircut and then I come to a podcast and I go, yo, shout out John's down the street for giving me a cut.
Mm-hmm.
It's love, dude. Like, that's going to, one, I look better. Two, that's going to show him that he's showing love. And hopefully one guy goes there and visits him. It's $10 in his pocket. Like, you know what I mean? Like, little things like that.
Right.
Work with the mom and pops first. Reach out to the Amazon companies. Reach out to Etsy's. Reach out to those small businesses, coffee shops, the coffee beans, stuff like that. That's what I'm doing on my podcast. I got coffee from Origin Coffee Co., bro.
Genius.
They send out bags, and I'm like, yo, let's have espressos real quick. Bang them out.
Right.
Appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's it, dude. Give them a 10-second plug on a show, and they're stoked.
It's all the small things. The small things that you do now. I'm saying that more often, even as I get older. The small things matter the most. Even when it comes to shooting detail. Like the details that you put in the most time into are the ones that people are going to remember in a shoot. Like, has it ever happened to you? You're looking through, you're scrolling, and there are photos that make you just stop.
Yeah.
And you stop and you have to look like, wow, this is an amazing shot right here. This is a beautiful photo.
Why? Why is that? What stands out to you? When you look at that, when you see that photo, describe something that's in there that you're like, see, that's something that misses, that a lot of people miss. Like, what would that be?
It's hard to tell a story in a photo. If you can capture emotion in a photo, I think you won.
Tenfold.
I think you won. In video, it's a little easier to capture emotion.
Do you think that's the model, or do you think that's also...
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both. How light an image is, how dark it is, the location, what she's wearing. Like, there's a point in time before a pose. I think we spoke about this a long time ago. There's a point before a girl gets into a pose. There's a couple seconds right before that happens where there's emotion, right? Yeah. Whether she's thinking about getting into the pose or she's thinking about how she feels, whatever the case is, there's an emotion there right before the pose. And so if you can capture a couple shots before she gets into that position, those photos end up being better than the pose shots.
10 times. 10 times over.
With an emotion, knows what it is. And so, like, going back to the collab thing, I love collabs when there's a mutual benefit. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I get the message all the time, and I'm always appreciative. Like, I'm very appreciative that you reach out to me. And
like, that's dope.
Flattering.
Yeah, 100%. And that lets you know you're doing the right thing.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. But like I said, it has to be mutually beneficial. Sorry. Yeah. And so I had a girl reach out to me, I want to say a couple months ago, and she said, look, my dad owns an old car garage in Hollywood. These are the ideas that I had. These are the cars that are going to be present. Would you be interested in shooting that? So pretty much, I don't have to pick location. I don't have to pick outfits. I don't do anything. Just show up with my camera and my light, and then that's it. And you have everything else. Why would I say no to that?
Yeah, that's a go-to.
You brought in some things that I couldn't get myself. And I love that about a collab. Like, that's what it would take for me to collab with somebody.
Question for you. In that situation, are they using those images for the cars?
No, for themselves.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So they're not making profit off. See, and that's where. Well, that's all. And the reason I stopped you there is I wanted to draw a specific line.
Oh yeah.
Whoever's listening.
Yeah, there's no way.
If I'm over here collabing with you and you're taking those photos and selling them, we have a fucking problem.
Of course, 100%. No, right. Just for her Instagram page, and it was very, very cool. And I met the dad, and now that's a location that I could use in the future if I want to rent it out.
And that relationship right there, it's network.
Right, but she put in the effort. It wasn't just like, hey, let's shoot. It was, hey, how are you? I'm so and so. This is what I want to bring to the shoot. This is what I want to bring to you. Yeah. Are you interested? And you gave me the opportunity to say yes or no. And so I respect that because, again, we're also businessmen, right? And how you communicate with somebody that you want to work with is so important. Like, I have models, and I'm not going to call out any names either, but I have girls who slide in my DM, and they're just like, hey, and this is a true story, I'll be in town next week. No hello, no how are you, doesn't even follow me. and I said, congratulations, enjoy your trip, right? Like, there's no connection at all, and this happens a lot more often than I would hope, right? But there's, like, again, we're people, right? Our job is photo, but we're still people before then. You have to be able to communicate with somebody about anything.
Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, if you don't vibe with somebody, even models that I've been hired from, if I don't vibe with them, I have the worst time and it's hard to shoot them.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not easy to shoot people that you don't fuck with. Like, straight up. I've shot people, I've done with clients that literally book me for like bikini shoot. Oh, hey, I'm trying to build a portfolio for bikini. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool, let's shoot it. We'll shoot it. I'll give direction. I'll give respectful direction, right? Like, I never, ever, ever. Even with people that I still shoot today, like Sam and Joe, right? I always, every single shoot, hey girl, same things with me, okay? I'll never ever touch you. I'll always ask before I move your hair or adjust something. Like, very, very respectful, very, very hands off, but hands on. Right. You know what I mean? And a lot of those, I give those directions. And you have those girls that are just like, yeah, but like, that's not my favorite thing. So like, I don't want to do that. Absolutely no problem. But then they just continue to tell you, no, I don't like that side of my face. I don't like that side of my body. Okay, so what do you like? What do you want me to do? Take a picture of this side? Psh, there you go, we're done. You know, like, it becomes less of a, they're trusting me to make a vision for them, and it becomes more of, you're telling me to take a picture.
Right. That's not fun.
Get a tripod.
Right.
Go get a tripod with one of those little remotes. Sell them on Amazon for like $15, and you take care of yourself and have a good day. Save $5.
They're coming to you for, and I tell people this all the time. Shooting is not just a shoot. It's not just photos. It's an experience.
100%.
You're sharing a couple hours with somebody. You're sharing their energy. You're sharing their creativity. You're paying for the experience of being with that person a lot, and that's a value that isn't financial.
You know what I tell? Oh, dude, I love that you said experience, because that set up a thing in my head. So, a couple of my favorite friends that I shoot with, and also models. I tell them, yo, if you're in this type of work, right? If you're into this OnlyFans, bikini, lingerie type genre, and you've never shot with Mike,
you're missing out.
You need to shoot with Mike.
You're missing out. And
they're like, well, why would you pass me off to another photographer? First of all, if I like JP, I can go shoot with everybody in the world for free, and I'm still going to come back to you and book you. So that tells me who you are as a person. If you like me, right, like Nikki Lucia, right? Yeah. Never am I ever afraid of passing her to all my homies that are great photographers and saying, yo, dude, create something dope with her. Because she'll still call me, like, Joey, I fucking miss you, let's shoot, right? Yes, ma'am, absolutely, here's my schedule, right? But, so I'm not scared of that. What I am jealous of is different experiences that people offer that I miss out on, right? So I hear things like, oh, dude, why do you tell people to go shoot with Mike Rangtang all the time? Dude, Uncle Mike is, by far, I've heard nothing but the most positive experience feedbacks, whether it's everything from the music that they play to just the vibe, the aesthetic. When you walk into his house, it's just like, this is a fucking cool spot. Like, I feel cool by being here. And that's what he's creating. That experience is worth the money alone. And I don't even know his rates. And I'm telling you right now, I'd pay him tenfold.
100%.
Because I've never heard a person leave that photo shoot talking about, oh yeah, I selected 10 great images. I selected 15 good images and we had a good time. We talked about this, and it was always like, yo, I had the greatest time. We listened to music, we had fun, Christina dressed me, we did styling. That experience is why people shoot with photographers, bro. Right? That's why I have the same, I shoot a girl, Sarah Cheek, that she books me all the time. I'm literally the only photographer that shoots her because she knows what she's paying for. She knows when I come there, I'm respectful. I hang out with her kids. I'm Uncle Joe. You know what I mean? Like, I'm dapping up her husband and being like, yo, let's go get a beer. Like, I'm providing a full level of experience. And then outside of that, we're still friends. Right. I still call her and be like, yo, what's going on with this? Sammy Joe, hey, I still do this. What's going on with that? Yeah. We still chat, dude. And that's what it's about, is providing that level of professionalism, but the experience that they get. They know when I shoot with Joey P, they're getting this and no less. Right. They're not like, oh, I shot with Joey P and this time was great, but that time was eh. I don't ever go down. I'm always adding things too. Right? So I want to ask you this. This is really important to me because I want to learn from people, and I still learn from you, which is cool because, like, I met you through Sammy, I think.
Yeah, through Sammy.
And she's like, oh yeah, he's my manager. And at the time, this is when you just got into
photography.
You were just getting into photography. And she's like, yeah, I'm just messing around with a couple pictures, but like, you know, I want to do some more. And I lived like 3 miles from her house or something. So I was like, when I was bored, I would just go over there, hang out, we'd smoke a little bit, shoot some shit, and then leave. Like, we just chill, homies. And when you shoot people, are there things that you like? You just told me you learned something from me, right? Like little direction or little things like that. Are there things that you look for and just consistently add to your repertoire? And if you do, are they noticeable? Do models notice them? Like when they come here and you offer them a drink of water, do they go, oh, like, no one ever asks me if I'm, thanks, I am comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
are they vocal with you about that thing? Because I think that's something that models need to be more of.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I like the direction that we're going. So something that I always do all the time, and it gets annoying, and I tell them it's going to be super, super annoying. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Do you want to stop? Do you want to take a break? And I'm constantly, like, it'll be every 5 minutes I'm asked, are you okay? How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't do that. A lot of photographers don't do it enough. And something that and I don't want to say that we forget, but it's something that I see a lot of younger photographers do, is that they forget that you're shooting with another person.
Yeah.
Right. And the people who are in the industry for the wrong reasons objectify the person that they're shooting with, and they forget that they're an individual, has thoughts and emotions. If we live in Miami, if it's noon and it's 90 degrees outside and you're sweating and the sun's in your eye and you're uncomfortable, the least you can do is ask how you feel.
Yeah, or hand you a water,
or hand you
take
a water.
a 5-minute break in the
let's
shade.
sit down. You know, like the least you can do is treat somebody like a person.
Yeah.
Right. So even here with air conditioner or wherever, I'm always gonna ask, how are you feeling? Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Are you good? You want to take a break? Because I don't feel like enough photographers do that.
Yeah.
And you can't always tell by looking at somebody how they're feeling. Sometimes you have to ask, and I think it's okay.
Do you think that besides at our level, do you think that's a thing that's in like the big industry? And when I say big industry, I'm talking Vogue, like I'm talking editorial.
I hope so.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, think about it. Every movie we've ever seen with like a photographer being in the movie, they're not personable. They walk in, they're bang, 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 bang. They put the camera down, they leave. There's no like.
I hope it isn't like that.
Right.
I hope that there is a person like there's a couple of photographers that I follow that are at that level, and they seem to be like regular people. They seem to be empathetic and genuine. So I hope to, if I ever get to that level, I don't know. To continue holding those characteristics even at that level. Yeah. Because it's being a person, you know, and being personable and being authentic and being empathetic to somebody else that you're working with. Because it is work. You're working with somebody.
I always wonder that. I'm always like, are there other people that are like, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I see a lot of photographers, and when I say a lot, I mean like 80%. Yeah. Don't give direction, don't ask the client, or over ask the wrong things.
Like what?
Do you like? If you're asking a client, hey, how are you feeling? You feeling good? You need water, right? You're asking for their physical health, for their mental health. If they need 5 minutes to just like answer a text or something, you get off the side, sit down for a second, take a breath. There's guys that'll be like, hey, like I don't make you awkward, do I? Like I don't make you uncomfortable, do I? Or hey, if you're okay shooting lingerie, do you mind taking your top? Like they're asking those first time questions on the spot, rather than having those conversations. Hey, this is what, if you're going to come here and we're going to shoot lingerie. You said you want to shoot for your OnlyFans, so understand at some time, hey, and you never tell a model, and I can't tell you how many times I've heard photographers be like, what we're going to do is this. Mm-hmm. How you word it, which is where it's very important, is, hey, where do you feel comfortable? Topless, implied bottomless, full bottom, where are you going? Mm-hmm. Like what, I don't want to imply anything. I want to know so I don't ask you to do something or give you direction to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable as a person. Right. Not as a woman, not as a man, as a human being. I don't ever want to put you in an awkward position. Because what I've noticed, and I hope you've noticed this too, this is how I'm going to figure out if you're noticing things, is if you can look at a photo and tell someone's uncomfortable, 9 times out of 10, it's a horrible photo.
100%.
So if your comfort level is 1,000, that photo is going to come out phenomenal, and you could be eating a freaking cheeseburger,
you could
be
in a turtleneck, in a bathtub, in a trash can.
Yeah, you could be in an airplane flying in the sky, and I could take a picture right here in your studio, and I'm like, that's a good photo because that chick was happy.
Even something small like as being hungry, you can tell they're hungry.
Dude.
Right.
You just know something's not perfect. Right. Something's not right.
Right.
So that is a huge thing that I think a lot of photographers miss the key on. They're like, oh my God, doesn't this photo look great? Look at the lighting. Okay, look at the skin. Cool. Look at this. Look at the pose. Looks great. Look at her fucking face, bro. She looks like she wants to smack you in the mouth for not offering her water, and it's 9,000 degrees outside in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, dude, come on, bro. Like,
let's talk more about etiquette, because I love the direction we're in right now.
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories about photographers here. Horror stories. There has to be a certain, again, this is a business at the end of the day. And when you're shooting with somebody, you're shooting with another person and you're working.
Yeah.
Right? There's levels of etiquette. Like, I'm the same way with you. I don't touch. I ask, okay, can I move this out of your hair? Can I do this? Can I adjust over here? And you have to do that because it's basic photography 101. It's be a person. You're talking to a person, you're working with a person.
Yeah.
And so there are things that I've heard, I haven't seen in front of me ever, but I've heard like touching and grabbing and pulling.
You've never seen it in front of you?
Not in front. I've been lucky at that point.
Have you ever done have you done a lot of power shoots?
I haven't.
Okay,
I haven't. I'm not a power shooter.
Dude, take your ass to one power shoot.
You think
Don't
so?
even bring your camera.
You think so?
Take your ass to a power
I feel
shoot.
like I would get upset.
I've walked out.
That's more of me.
I've literally walked out of power shoots. And I'm not, of the 20, not even 15 power shoots that I've been to in my life, I've maybe taken pictures at 3 of them. Maybe.
I get invited all the time, but that isn't really my scene. So I've never been.
It wasn't mine either. The first time I went and met Joey Wright. The first time I ever went to a power shoot. And it was at C&I Studios right downtown Fort Lauderdale. And I was hanging with Chris Headshots. He introduced me to Joey Wright and the whole crew. And I don't know, that's another story. But power shoots, I think that's what they call it. I say it like I'm a vet. I don't fucking know. I think that's what they call it. I've heard it called a couple different things. But I see, if you want to see 90% of what's wrong with this industry, go to a power shoot that just invites everyone. There's some power shoots where I'll give it to them, where I'm like, okay, these 4 or 5 guys are pretty cool. But there's some power shoots where I'm like this guy's taking pictures of a model who he's asked to shoot with, who's declined him respectfully. So now she's shooting with another photographer, and he's like off to the side, like taking low-key photos, or pulled out his cell phone, pretends like he's texting, and he's doing a video of her the whole time from like the back. You know what I mean? Like just weird creepiness. I personally think it's those type of photographers are the picture takers that I was telling you about. And those are the guys that are doing it for the wrong reasons. Those are the guys that are taking pictures to talk to girls. Those are guys that are taking pictures to feel like the cool, happening guy, to have better conversations with women, and they're not getting them. And so what they're doing is they're taking them anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, it's those awkward situations. It's the guys that walk up and they give a girl a hug and they put their hand on their back but too low. You know what I'm saying?
Small, subtle things. Like
just the little things that you're just like, you're not there, bro. Like, she doesn't like you. I promise you.
Yeah.
So the things that make girls uncomfortable, and the things that make guys uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable standing next to someone who's doing stuff like that.
I would be uncomfortable. And I've been lucky. I've never seen that in front of me, or no one has the audacity to do that in front of me.
That's crazy.
I've heard stories though, and I've heard crazy stories. And like sometimes I just feel like I want to offer water. Like, hey, the fridge is open. There's a bunch of bottles of water in there. Grab whichever one you like. Like, it's especially when I shot with somebody for the first time. You always want to establish a professional relationship from the beginning.
Yeah. Right.
And then if you end up being friends to that point, you're friends. That's cool.
What are your I don't know if you get DMs like this. I'm not going to call anyone out, but I'm going to call out a specific situation. I got a DM from a female who basically, she's, I believe, in the sex working industry, which, cool. I mean, they make pretty good bread, but she does OnlyFans stuff. And she was like, hey, I would love to do work with you, have some work with you. I was like, yeah, cool. Like, here's my rates, no problem. Second I sent that, she's like, awesome, cool, I'll review it. So I thought everything was like, all right, gonna go typical, whatever. And then I would get like do you do anything else, like trade? And I'm like, trade? Like, do you have a brand? Are you working with another company? Are you gonna send me clients? Like, if you bring me 3 girls, I'll probably do a look with you for no problem. Like, yeah, let's kill it. If you're gonna bring me other money some other places, yeah, we can always work around stuff. No, I was thinking more like sexually. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I don't shit where I eat. Like, I really try not to. Like, you don't work at Foot Locker and sell shoes to the girl that you're having sex with every day, and then, you know, have sex with all your people that you're selling shoes to. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's probably a bad analogy, but you get what I mean. Like, you don't, as a photographer, you can't shit where you're eating. Not only is it hard enough to be in a relationship as a photographer doing the stuff that we do, period. But now, if you seriously sat down and tried to hook up with, if you were shooting 5 girls today, and you tried to hook up with 3 of them in a year, you probably could. Without them knowing, very rare. And if you think you're not going to have bad stories told about you and your career is over, you're dead wrong.
You become that creepy photographer after one bad shoot.
Seriously. Seriously, bro. It's bad, especially down here, because OnlyFans, isn't it like primarily out of LA and Florida? Or like
the big cities.
That's it, right?
LA, Miami. Not even New York because it's too cold.
Yeah. I know Vera Simonova. Shout out to Vera Simonova. She lives in New York, and she does some dope shit. And you're like, walks down the street lifting her skirt up, and I'm like, scrolling through. I'm like, what are you doing in New York? It's freezing. Like, what? You're in a skirt. She's so cool. Yeah. She's such a cool girl. Like, dude, it's such etiquette is so important, and I feel like it's just people don't realize how important it is. But then they're asking me, oh, how are you getting booked like that? How are people paying your full rates? Dude, because I'm being professional. I don't want to hook up with these girls.
Also, again, going back, it's the experience of shooting with you.
Yeah, it's making people comfortable, and not like making people comfortable knowing you're trying to be a scumbag, right?
No,
like, let's make that clear.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not making you comfortable so I can slide in. Like, that's not. I'm making you comfortable because I want you to convey comfort in the images that we're about to create.
I want you to be proud of the images.
And I want you to look and feel like when you look at those photos. I want you to go, when you're 90, I want you to look back and be like, damn, I was a dirty bitch. No, I want you to look back and be like, yo, you know how I felt when I was at this shoot with Joey P on December 7th? Like, I want you to remember everything about that shoot. I had a great time. That bikini looked great. I killed that shit. He made me look awesome. Like, that. I want that. That's the part I want to create.
I think it's more than that. It's not that he made me look. He made me feel awesome.
Right?
Because sometimes you forget names and places and dates, but you never forget emotion.
Yeah.
And if you can make somebody feel good about themselves, they're always going to remember that and associate
That's so
with
true,
that
because the 2 things that I think about whenever I go somewhere is what kind of time I had. Right. Oh, I'll never go back there. I had a horrible dinner there. Or I had a great, so that you're absolutely right. It's expression, it's emotion.
Yeah. And that's what I want. I got a text. I did a shoot this summer. And I sent the photos out. She gave me her favorites. I sent her back the edits. And she sent me this whole paragraph about how she's never felt sexy in a photo before. Right? And she's a model who models constantly, a lot.
And she's never felt sexy about
herself. She's never felt
herself?
sexy about herself in a photo. And she shoots lingerie and fly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I sent her the photos back. And this is one of the things, like, I still have the screenshot and everything. Like, I look back at it every now and then. Because that's what we want as photographers. We want to be able to create something that people are, not only are we proud about it, but it makes you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And why would you be in the industry where you don't feel good and you're not making people feel good as well? Right? So when somebody sends you a message like that, and I'm sure you get them all the time, like, wow, I feel amazing, I look amazing.
Yeah, like, I can't believe you made me feel
I can't believe you made me feel that way.
Yeah.
And so that's when I know, like, if you're not getting those kinds of emotions and those responses from your photos, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Either you don't care enough, you're not editing well enough, you're not making the environment comfortable for that person. Mm-hmm. Like, there are things you can tell, like, if you're not getting those responses back from your clientele, there's something wrong. 100%. And you have to self-adjust yourself. And something that I like is I can call you up and be like, hey, what do you think about these sets of images? And you tell me, hey, your shadows are whack, this doesn't look good. And I can't be upset about that because it's coming from a place of a peer and then you want me to do well.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of young photographers, they don't ask enough and they don't critique enough their work.
Yeah.
Especially if they're serious. If they're not serious, that's different. Don't ask anyone.
Well, they don't care. They'll publish anything. Like that thing I sent you a couple weeks ago from that magazine, who I'm not going to name. Horrible selection. And then they messaged me 2 weeks later asking me to be the cover. I'm just saying. No, that's super important, bro. Like those things, I feel like are overlooked. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they're overlooked for selfish reasons.
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like the photographer really just wants to shoot a chick in a bikini. Right? Think about it. Most of those issues happen at a level where, like, let's be real, you're not on my level if you're having those issues, right? Because I don't look up to you in the sense of like Like Mike, I guarantee you, Mike and Christina look at people and they're like, "How are you feeling? Oh, so pretty."
I've been there, yeah.
Bro, he's, "Hey, you're great. Oh, you're good. Yes, you look great. You look fine." Like, he's gonna hate me for
doing the accent. Mike,
no, but like, you know what I mean? Like, any great photographer wants to know or can tell where something's. You look tired. Or you feel, let's take a break. Yeah, and if you can, get out of the industry because you need to be a professional photographer. You really need to know when your client is not at her peak, his or her peak, whatever. So I think that's awesome that you notice that because that tells me that the people I keep around me are at the same level, if not better than me. Like I hate to keep going back to this old Cat Williams saying, well, like if you're not getting better and better and fucking better and better and better, I don't want to fuck with you. Yeah. Like if you're doing the same thing for 10 fucking years, cool, bro. Yeah. I'm not mad at you. I'm not hating at all. But don't expect me to be hanging around you because I'm trying to get bigger. Like, and at my own pace. You know, everybody's got their own things going on in their life, like buying houses and COVID and whatever the fuck you're doing.
Kids,
kids and whatever, bro. Like, so I get it, but I think that for the most part, being professional, having set etiquette, being someone who can be reliable.
Yes.
If you're showing up to your shoots at the same time as your model, you're wrong.
Right.
If you're showing up to your shoots, looking like a sloppy mess, all out of, whatever, your batteries aren't charged, your cards aren't set up, like OD. I get it every now and then. You're like, fuck, I forgot to wipe that card last night. So you gotta sit there and wipe it in your camera. Cool, got it. Like, understand little things. If you're showing up to shoots and your lenses are at home, or your SD cards are not in your bag, I'm like, I've done that before. I showed up to a shoot with the SD card on the bag, and immediately it was like, fuck. Like, my whole life flashed, bro. So so
you go to Walgreens.
I went to Walgreens. So what I did was I lied to the model. I said that if something was wrong, I was going to be a little late. I was late, but for me being late, I paid for it tenfold, and I edited an extra 10 images for her. I went above and beyond to say, like, yo, I understand your time's valuable. Here's how valuable it is. I'm giving you $100 in edits. Here you go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, take those. I'm sorry. Like, that'll never happen again. I apologize. And she was like, yo, don't even. 9 times out of 10, most of these models are super understandable. Like, yo, I get it. Don't stress. Like, don't trip. That's not a big deal. It is a big deal, but the fact that they brought, you're allowed hiccups, bro. So like, we're humans, right? But what I'm saying is those people that show up to shoots with one battery, their camera in their hand, one lens, they're sweating from the party that they left the night before, and all they want to do is shoot this girl so they can see a picture of her in a bikini.
Right.
Those are the people I have problems with. I just feel like, You don't feel like that? You don't feel like there's people in this industry that just give you a bad rap?
They do, but I'm not around them enough to care. I'm not even around them enough for them to affect me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll hear stories, and because I'm so far removed from that, like, that's not even an option for me at this point. And for you too, I'm sure. Like, the idea of even being in the same room with that individual doesn't occur to you. So,
well, and that's why that's why when it comes to those, like, situations, that's why I'm so passionate about not fucking with those people.
Yes.
Is because I want every person I sit in the room with that's a photographer to be like you. I want to sit with only good people. Yeah. So it's hard to like if I go to a power shoot, I'm assuming I walk into that shoot going, everyone in here is like me and JP and Joey, and everyone in here is respectful, knowledgeable, cool. And then I see him and I'm like, ugh, there's people like that. And I'm out.
I couldn't do it. I got invited to one next week. I don't know if I'm gonna go.
Oh, is it the one in Miami with I don't want to say his name, but
I have no idea who they are. So it's funny, I got a message from a model, and she wanted, is this real? I'm like, what's real? And she sends me like a copy and paste of like, I guess the power shoot.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of photographers, and then my name is in there.
Is Joey Wright going to be there?
Supposedly, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so it's the same one. I'm invited to you.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So maybe I'll go if
you go. We should go.
Okay.
We should go. We should go out and hand walk you. That's one of the events that I was telling you that when I walked in, I saw the guy on his cell phone taking like underpants and videos and stuff. That's where I like called him out on the spot.
I couldn't do that. It happened to me one time with an owner of an Airbnb. We went to an Airbnb in Marco. I was with Marco. And we were shooting, some flight stuff. And the owner, for some reason, would not leave.
I know what you're talking about.
I think you think I know.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
And the dude would not leave. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And so we're shooting by the pool
With his phone.
And with his phone, he's all the way in the back.
Does it every time.
And I had to go up to him and said, "Hey, yo, no, this isn't happening.
Yeah.
Like, if you, I don't mind leaving. I don't need your spot. You're here because you have to be here. I don't need your spot for you to make these girls uncomfortable so you can get it off. You know, like that's impossible." And I told him, he goes, "Oh, my bad, won't happen again. Whatever." It happened twice. Yeah, it packed up. That's more. We packed up. We left because it's not how.
I would have for sure.
Yeah.
I would have for sure.
There's no way.
If it's at the place, I'll talk to you afterwards. Yeah. But if it's at the place where I think it is, I gotta tell you crazy story.
The dude would not leave. Yeah. He would not. In what world does the owner of the Airbnb stay for?
So what do? You leave, right?
Yeah, I leave. I pack up my stuff. So
what do you tell the model?
I said, "This guy's being creepy. I'm gonna leave."
Cool. So you're straight up. You don't sugarcoat it. You're like, "Hey, let's wrap it early." No, you're straight up.
Like I approached him the first time in front of all the girls. Like I'm not scared about approaching somebody over some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like especially, you're not gonna make my clients feel comfortable.
They appreciate you for that, dude. I just want to let you know that. Like, if I've had so many girls tell me, like, "Hey, I really appreciate you for sticking up for me and talking to that guy," because they don't even see it.
Yeah, they don't.
They're worried about, "Hey, how do I look?" Like,
exactly.
They don't see there's some creep right there.
But you're being human. You're being and that's what people forget. And that's what upsets me about the industry. That you forget to be a person and that you're dealing with another person.
Yeah.
How would you want to be treated in a situation where you feel uncomfortable, you don't feel safe? You want to be treated right, like an individual. And then when you don't have that empathy, it's.
What do you do when? Do you have any projects that you like really want to create, like a look or a vision or an aesthetic you really want to create, but you can't find the right model or the right one you know won't answer your DM?
So I get.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Like
okay, I'm thinking like angel lingerie in the clouds. Like it's just something cool, right? Something really dope. But then you don't have the model for that in your Rolodex, but the one you do. You're just like, if I message her, she's gonna be like, yeah, my rates are $5,000, right? Like, what do you have that?
So most recently, I've always wanted to shoot in the desert. There's no deserts here in Florida.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go to Utah in a couple weeks. We're gonna go to Moab with a bunch of the girls, and so it's gonna be like a whole desert theme vibe. So I'm able to like fulfill that fantasy of shooting in the desert, and it's gonna be cold. That's the only thing that I don't like. It's gonna be freezing.
Ice cold.
But
don't go at night, like 30s.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Anything colder than 70 is a pain for me, and so I hear it's gonna be like in the 30s.
Oh, it's a pain for me. I'm so sorry to betroth this horrible situation.
I feel real bad. So, but hopefully I don't pussy out.
Yeah.
But if I could pick any scenario, okay. So I've always wanted to shoot with Barbara Palvin. I don't know if you know her.
I do know
Victoria's
Barbara Palvin. Yeah.
And I would die to shoot with Barbara Palvin, but I know her rates are gonna be like $1,000 an hour, and there's no way.
If that's the hookup,
that's the bro rate.
Yeah.
And I would love to do something, and I'm not a huge swimmer guy. Like I can shoot swimmer, but that isn't my forte.
Yeah.
But Barbara's forte is swimmer, so I would love to shoot swimwear with Barbara Palvin. That would be I would retire after that shoot.
Yeah, that would be sick.
There are some models, and this is what I look for when it comes to a collab. Like people always hit me up and they ask, "Hey, why would it take to collab? Can you show emotion? Can you convey something with your face? Like if I were to just have your head and we just do straight portraits, can you show me emotion?
Yeah.
Can you be somber?
Give me 4 different looks.
Yeah. Can you be somber? Can you be excited? Can you be confused? Like, can you show me emotion in a modeling situation? If you can do that, like even if a girl has no followers, if I can see that she can show emotion, I'm gonna make it work. Dude, I'm gonna find a way to make that happen.
When you said if I had just your head, immediately I was like Zoolander. I just got like, does that? It's so real. It's so real.
We're very lucky. We have a lot of like great bodies here in South Florida, right? But can you show emotion?
Yeah.
And I think the models out in New York are the best.
Phenomenal.
At showing emotion.
No, you know why? Because they can't show body because it's negative for me.
I was just saying.
That's all I got. That's all I got. They're like, oh, you're cold. Got it.
So that's what I look for. A model can has that range with her face, being able to show different things.
Are you a believer that when you use the word model, do you use it tightly or do you use it low?
You're a model. I'm a model. My dog's a model. Everyone's a model.
Okay. And how do you feel about people who are model word protectors? Do you know what I mean by that?
No,
have you ever met a person? Okay, so I'm in agreement to you to a direction. I think model is a generalized term. Mm-hmm. I think that I don't like Instagram model, TikTok model, I'm not that person. Like I don't need it intricately. If you are using your look to sell an item, product, or service, you are a model, right? This glass is a model of some sort. It's selling liquor that's being poured into it. Like a model is something that you use to convey sales or direction from. So just like a mannequin, right? If you can think of it like that. So when people use the word like, oh, like some girls that I meet, they're not really models. And I'm like, that girl made $10,000 selling bikinis from her Instagram. She's a model. She's like, no, she's not. She's never done New York City Fashion Week. So I think the word model has grown so much.
There's no choice. It has to grow.
Yeah.
It has to. There's no choice.
Yeah, and I love that you just said that, like, this model, that model, like that's cool because that tells you that you're open to that side of thinking. So that's really cool.
If you want to pull up the camera and you and I can shoot, you'd be my model.
I'm a model.
I know you are. Everyone's a model. I think the only difference is how much of your
photographer
life
too.
you are dedicated. Yeah, that's.
What are you gonna say? Watch what you're gonna say. What are you gonna say?
Be very careful. I'm more protective of the word photographer than I am model.
Yeah, that's why I have picture taker.
Yeah. Like,
that is the easiest way for me to separate yourself, who is a photographer, from someone that I see. And I don't always mean it negative too. Like, I want to make that understood. Like, when I say picture taker, I'm not saying like that guy's just a fucking picture taker. I'm saying like he hasn't gotten there yet. That's all. Like, he's a picture taker. He's not there yet. He hasn't put enough homework in. He hasn't. Dude, I quit my full-time job when I got out of the military to pursue something I had no idea if I was good at. That's a photographer. A picture taker is somebody who's working at Starbucks and slinging fucking mocha frappe latte frappuccinos, all right, for $3.99 an hour.
Slinging what?
I don't know, whatever the fuck they're selling there. I don't go to Starbucks. But you know what I mean? Like, and then they're taking pictures, living in their mom's attic, trying to figure out if they even want to do this for a living. Lying to girls, telling, hang out with Joey P and JP all the time. Like, seriously, those are picture takers to me, and those are people that I hope that they learn and they get better. But a lot of people are okay with just doing that, and that's
not. I mean, I respect that. That's
do
what
you
you want to do.
Do you get models that say like, oh, I can't get my pictures taken for free? Like, why do I have to pay your high rates? You ever get that?
I have. I think not the worst one, but the one that I was like, wow, you're very audacious. So she's
dropping full vocabulary on these girls.
Now she's led into my DMs and she goes, I would love to shoot with you, love your work. And I said, thank you so much. I'm flattered. Here are my rates for shooting.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, I appreciate it, but it's just a hobby for me.
Oh, I have one.
Yeah. And I was like, this is my livelihood.
Yeah.
So my livelihood is your hobby. And I didn't respond that at all. I just said, thank you. Have a great day. But in my head, I'm like, can you imagine, like, I had to go on her page and see who she's shooting with, right? Because if you devalue your work enough, because you didn't tell me it's just me, I'm not the first guy you said that to. Right?
Yeah, 100%,
sure. 100%. And so for some reason, I wanted to look through the photographers that she shot with to see who.
Because you know who's charging, for sure.
Yeah. But also, but who heard that from her, and who said, okay, anyway.
I'll shoot with you anyway. Yeah.
Because then that's not only devaluing your work, but everyone else is in the industry by you letting her say that to you in that way and still shooting. Because it isn't a hobby for you. If it pays your bills, it's not a hobby, it's your livelihood. Yeah. So if someone doesn't appreciate your livelihood enough to even ask for raise, right, why would you still go ahead and do it? Right? And so I saw those photographers and they were like you said, they were picture takers. So that was always very interesting to me. And again, I love to collab. I don't mind collabing at all as long as it's a mutual benefit.
Yeah.
Right? I don't mind collabing.
100%.
But it's how she said it, I guess, when she just called it a hobby. She said, my life is a hobby. Like, no, you're a hobby. Like,
yeah, like, wait, hold on a second. You mean this? This is a hobby?
Yeah.
For real? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's also why I'm not going to shoot with you. Enjoy your fucking selfies, bitch. No, so what is your take on, I always wanted to ask you this because you're in the OF world a little bit more intensely than I'm in the OF world because I shoot models that purchase packages from me, take that content and hand it to people like your team or other management companies, or maybe they just get down to work and go, all right, cool, and one day I shot 8 looks or 10 looks with Joey and I can use this for the whole month. Awesome, right? That's what I do. So I don't necessarily work with a management company per se, but I work as like an independent contractor, and they'll be like, hey, Unruly's my management company. Okay, cool. Or Indoors my management company. Okay, cool. Give me a contact for your management company. Cool. I reach out to you. Hey man, is there anything that you want to see her in? Cool. I need 3 bikinis, 3 lingerie, 3 lifestyle.
That's how we met, actually.
Right? Yeah. So I go, hey, awesome, no problem. I'll make sure that I pitch to her 3 bikinis, 3 lingerie, 3 lifestyle. Thank you, appreciate it. Is there anything specific you need? Portraits, headshots, whatever. No, man, just give me whatever you got. So then I go back to her. I set all that up. I do everything, bro. I set up everything from hair and makeup to locations to wardrobe, everything. I do it all. So then after that, I create that comfort zone, that lifestyle enjoyment experience. And then I go to people and I sell them their package. It's $1,000 for this, $1,700 for this, $2,200 for this, you know what I mean? And that's it. The girls that are making 10 grand have no problem dropping $1,700 on a package because they're going to get it. They're self-investing. That's just like if you go to buy shoes in a suit and you're working on Wall Street, right? You got to buy a suit to walk on Wall Street. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So they know that. So I appreciate people like that. How do you work with people that, because I don't have an OnlyFans. I have one, but so people can tag me, not necessarily so I can post anything. But I see a lot of now what's big is these photographers are collabing with these girls for free because they're shooting 3 looks for them, keeping a look or 2, and then putting it on their OnlyFans and making money that way.
Right.
So how do you feel about that? Like knowing that is now a form of payment.
So me personally, and this is just for myself, I don't sell content, right? In that sense.
Yeah.
So I understand it because it's your work. At the end of the day, you took a photo, you edited the photo, that's your work that you want to sell to whoever you want to sell it to whoever is willing to buy that product. I think it depends on how much money you're making. Right?
Yeah, right.
If you're making enough to cover your expenses and the girl's okay with it, the model's okay with it, and everything's above board, I don't see why not.
Because a lot of the girls that reach out to me now, they're like, oh, well, you could just take my stuff and sell it.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want it. Like, that's a lot of extra work,
It's
girl.
a lot of extra work.
Because now, hold on, first of all, girl, you can't even manage your own fucking thing. And now you want me to come, shoot you, style, wardrobe, edit, all this stuff, then take those images and go sell. And that's my payment? What if they don't sell it?
Yeah. I would.
What if no one on my platform likes your look at all, and I shot you all day for 3 looks that don't sell?
I've never had that happen.
So I don't even dabble in that.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't recommend it at all for photography.
But a lot of people do. A lot of down here in Miami, bro.
I don't think they're making money like that.
I don't know how they're doing it.
If the girl's not gonna make money selling her own content, how are you gonna make money selling her content?
But I've seen it taken as a form of payment. Like I've literally seen it from people down here.
I couldn't do it. I mean, if it's working for them, then more power to them.
Yeah, they must be crushing.
I did hear though Patreon more for older photographers. Like there's a photographer named Cam out of LA, and he's super dope. And he had like a 300,000 follower page that got taken down, but he shoots mostly nude. And so what he was doing was they subscribing on Patreon, and then his followers could see the full pictures on Patreon. That's how he made money. But that was before OnlyFans and everything. He's been doing that for like 10 years.
So originally, I created my OnlyFans with the idea of being like the yellow pages for models, right? Like I wanted to shoot the Sammy Joes, the Vera Sminovas, all different girls. Every single girl I shoot, I want to keep one look. Put it on my page for $1 a month. Like make it literally nothing. What is it, $3 like minimum? Yeah. Like it, literally nothing. But the whole purpose of it is to tag the models so people can subscribe to me, see every single person I shoot, and then go sub to them. Right. Like that was the idea originally. But when I found out how much work goes into doing that, I was like, no, I'm good.
It's a business. And if you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. But you treat it like a hobby, it's not going to pay you at all.
And that was the thing. I don't have the time to travel, drive, shoot, edit, keep the relationships, edit, build, and then I got to do the OS.
It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
Not by myself.
Do you believe in niches? Like having a niche?
Niche?
Yeah. Or do you think it's more...
I think niches are genius for people who want to mess in the niche market. I think it's a very... I don't want to say it's a way of giving up, but the reason I think of it like that is not everybody's like me. Not everybody's hungry for 10 different styles of stuff. Not everybody wants to be just an overall good photographer, a great photographer. I think some people only like lingerie. and they only want to shoot lingerie, right? But you got to think of it like this. Like, I want to go to the side of the world that we can understand better, right? So let's go into like the OF realm. A niche photographer, if I was only a foot photographer and I took pictures of girls' feet,
It's limiting.
it's very limiting, but it's very profitable. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, making money selling feet pictures.
So, you know, that's why I feel about niches. It's like you really have to be in something that you know is like, I mean, what's a niche? It's a car. Is cars a niche?
I think so.
Because if so, there's some phenomenal car photographers. I can't tell you the one that makes a lot of money. I couldn't name one.
Really?
I don't know
anybody in that niche.
The only person that I know that does car stuff that makes decent money, he doesn't even only do car stuff though. So that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say is that like, you better be in something that you've already got a foothold in it.
Right.
Right? Like to just say right now, all right, that's it. I'm only shooting
Pinky
bikinis.
toes.
Yeah, exactly. Pinky toes for the rest of my life.
Pinky toe photographer.
That's not a thing, man.
Mm.
I don't know if that's a thing. Not in photography, maybe.
Interesting.
I just don't. Why? If I'm standing with you and you're a model and I can shoot just your hands, why wouldn't I shoot your whole body?
Right.
I mean, I have other markets that I could capitalize on right here.
Right.
So I don't know. What do you think about it?
The only reason why I bring it up is because on TikTok, I don't know how much you're on it, but everything's about having your niche. And if you are an educator, if you are a photographer, if you're whatever, and you stick within that niche and then you build your following based upon that. But if I wanted to break it down more and be like, oh, I'm a foot photographer, or I'm a lingerie,
How many people are going to follow you?
how exactly?
1,000, 2,000, 20,000?
It's also very limiting as sources of income, as a creative. Like, if I were to only shoot in my studio, like, yeah, I can get some great work, but after a while you get bored, right? You're limited by what you have around you. And so if I wouldn't take a model outside or to the beach or to a different location, like, I would get bored, she would get bored, and it's like, it's just very limiting. You're trying to take
your creativity and shove it into a cup.
Exactly.
Right? You're taking a bucket full of creativity and you're putting it inside of this glass. Right? I feel like, why? I can fill this table. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hungry. Like, I can fill the table. Like, why do we need to fill a cup?
Yeah. I love that.
I don't know. It's not for me.
Well,
it might be for somebody, but not for me.
Not for sure. Bro, I want to say thank you so much for coming to the show.
Appreciate it. Bro.
Thank you for driving over here. Thank you for your insight, your wisdom, everything.
Always love.
I love it all. Thank you.
I appreciate it, dude. It's been cool since watching you when you first came in to watching where you're at now. The growth is exponential. The friendship has always been there. You've always been kind. You've never had, not in front of me, a bad word to say about anybody. You're so fucking dope, dude. Like, you're killing it. Keep doing what you're doing. I love it. I want to be on episode fucking 100. And
back episode 20. Every 10 episodes, you'll be back.
That's it. Dude, so we're at 30? Is this 30? Just more drunk every time.
Can you imagine? Oh, I gotta thank Marco for this whiskey.
Shout out Marco for playing with the 14 on that scotch. That's pretty classy, dude.
He started the trend. I'm gonna keep it going.
You know what I'll do? You invite me back. I'll bring. I'm gonna one up whatever bottle you have on table.
Gotcha.
So I got a bottle of Pappy sitting at the house right now.
Okay, let's do it.
Just saying. No, I appreciate you, bro. I love you. I love what you're doing. Seriously, and stay humble, stay classy, and kill this shit, dude. Seriously, you're doing it right. I'm comfortable moving to Orlando because I know that there's people like you that are down here that are crushing it. So fuck yeah, dude. Love that shit. Seriously. Good shit, dude.